What's up, people? I am back. I have been waiting for this day. So, we're gonna start the Predator franchise. This movie, in my opinion, is probably like my third favorite movie ever made. Like, it at least top five. It is an incredible movie. I think that first Predator movie, which came out in 1987, Arnold had just did Terminator 3 years before. That he did Commando 2 years before. Just that run of movies, and then now we're here with Predator, and this is the start of a new franchise, and in my opinion, one of the best casts ever. Just everybody, Jesse the Body Ventura, um, the black dude in that, the other black dude in that movie, really good. He was in a lot of other movies. Um, Even like that, like native kind of chick. Well, I wouldn't say native, but like um, that one chick was a good character. So Dutch, but Arnold as Dutch was great. The Predator itself. Sorry about that. Fuck it, do it live. Um, but then like I mentioned with Alien, this movie they kind of just showed you what the Predator can do and its powers and all that. Hold on. Its powers and all that. Kind of like what, like I mentioned, with the first Alien did, and then the second one, which I think is just as incredible. I will probably will review that next week. Tomorrow will be Prometheus, and yeah, today. So next 2 days gonna be dope reviewing two great movies. Predator today, and then tomorrow Prometheus. Sorry, I love that film. I understand the film's kind of controversial with some people, but I fucking love it. So, well, that'll be tomorrow. But like what they showed with the Predator in this, yeah, it didn't go too much into its backstory. You didn't even really, you knew it was an extraterrestrial of some kind, but you didn't know to the extent of its full power. So I really like that this film kind of did that. So I guess we'll get started. So the film opens up with a ship. You have obviously that iconic um, 20th Century Fox opening, and then the film starts off. You see a ship land, and then we cut to this military base where we're introduced to Dutch and his team. Well, not really his team, but you see his team get out of a helicopter, and then Alan Silvestri's awesome music. Alan Silvestri killed it with the score. It's very memorable. Like, it's a very memorable score. So, and then we see Dutch talk to the general, and this is where we're introduced to Dylan, played by Carl Weathers. And then you get that iconic Dylan, you son of a bitch scene, and then they explain the situation. Just awesome opening. One of the, I gotta say it, the manliest movies ever made, in my opinion, is Predator. And I think everybody should watch it. Even if you don't like the sequels, just watch the first one if you have to. So Dylan, gives the rundown of the mission, and then that's pretty much how the film starts. And then we get Dutch's team. Yeah, Billy, who's like the Native American guy. Like, and that's the other thing. This movie was naturally diverse. You had you had Mac, who was Bill Duke. That's the dude I was talking about. I think he was a great character. You have Jim Hopper, just kind of naming the team off, and then you have this badass scene. In my opinion, one of my favorite scenes when you have like little Richie just playing in the background while they're on the fucking helicopter. You do have some gamer words in said, but awesome scene. Just like, and then they land, and then they basically are seeing what's going down. And then basically they find bodies of other soldiers, 3 men, and then they end up finding this camp, this rebel camp. A lot of like this film starts off very much like a normal action movie. Like you think it's just gonna be like this kind of Arnold action feature, and then so yeah, he tells his team to storm in, and they kill everybody, and then this is where we meet Anna, who's this lone uh, girl, and even though she doesn't have a lot of dialogue, I think her character was pretty good. She was, and then this is where it's found out that Dylan basically was setting them up, and then basically the creature, and then you get the iconic "I ain't got time to bleed." I could love that shit. Just some really good, just like one-liners, and so then the creature, you start seeing that they're being tracked by the predator. We haven't seen its full outfit yet. Um, and, crazy news about, not crazy, but interesting fact about this movie that Jean Claude Van Damme was also the Predator had a different design. The pictures are out there of like that original design, and I'm happy they changed it. Oh my god, this movie would have been like just another. I'm gonna say it, even with the cast, really bad like B movie alien movie like with like really shitty effects if they had went with that design. So I'm happy they changed it, but Jean Claude Van Damme was in the costume. I think then something happened to where he left the role. So so that happens, and then basically Anna tries to escape, and then we have Hawkins played by Shane Black, who we'll get to more of him later when I review it. When I get to the Predator, and I will say it now, I'm not watching it. I will be just looking up a synopsis. I'm not watching that dog shit again. So I'm just warning you now. I'm not sitting through that again. I will like do a quick. I'll find a synopsis. I remember most of the big scenes anyway, but I'm not sitting through that again. So, this is where Hawkins gets killed. He tries to grab Anna, and then basically he gets killed by the Predator, who's in camouflage. Then the team finds out, and then they all try to. Blaine, played by Jesse Ventura, I think he was an awesome character. He gets killed with the plasma cannon, and then Bill Duke's character, Mac, when he goes crazy when when the Predator killed Jesse, because I guess they're like really close. Like throughout the film, you see that they have like some kind of really good friendship, and then they're all just in Mac picking up the fucking death machine from Call of Duty, as I call it, just shoot, yeah. And then they have to figure out a plan. Then nightfall hits, and then the Predator does like a diversion where he uses I guess some kind of hog as a distraction. And then, really quick, you see that the creature is an alien because its blood is green. I like the little build-up. We've not seen what the creature looks like yet. You see that it has thermal vision, like, you see all that, but you don't know what it fully looks like yet. So that nightfall hits. Mac gets waking up, and he ends up going crazy, and he thinks he's stabbing the Predator, but no, it was a hog. And then it was a distraction because they took the Predator took Blaine's body. So the next day, that he's figuring out what kind of enemy, and then basically they build like some kind of trap with a tree, with a net. The Predator breaks out, and then ends up killing. It ends up hitting Poncho straight in the chest, because the plan was to use like this rock thing. It was not a rock, it was like a log, and he was hit right in the chest. Every time I watch that, I'm like, oh god, like that's gotta fucking hurt. And then Mac chases the Predator into the shrubbery because they're trying to escape to. There's some kind of evac coming in a little bit, so they end up. So Dylan tells everyone to go, and Dylan follows Mac. They have a quick scene, and then Mac gets killed by the Predator when the Predator shoots him with. Um, oh, also, I think before this is where we get our first full look at the Predator when he's cleaning his injuries, and then you get another look when he's on the tree and he camouflages in and out. So Predator kills Mac. Dylan finds him. Dylan gets in a shootout, and then you have this really awesome scene. The Predator shoots Dylan's hand off with the plasma cannon, and the gun's like still shooting, and he's just screaming, and the Predator is just running around him and then kills him off, and it just, man, really awesome scene. Just especially with like the Sylvester's music just playing in the background when this is happening. I'll take another hit. Cheers. So so the group hears Dylan screams, and then Billy, the native guy, decides, like, know what? He tells everybody to go. He cuts his chest to like draw blood, and then pretty much gets killed off screen. Then the Predator kills Poncho, and then Arnold. And this is where you get the iconic get to the chopper scene. So Arnold ends up falling off a thing into the water. And I guess he sees that the Predator can't see him because he's like covered in like mud. And then Arnold starts building like arrows and traps and all that. You have like this kind of final face off. And then he ends up falling off a log. Really awesome little scene, just little fights, like him trying to evade the Predator. Because he was using the mud. Because it seemed like it masked the Predator's vision. But he ends up falling in the water. The Predator sees him. He chokes him out for a second. And then this is where he takes off his helmet. And we get our first look at the Predator's actual face. You know, the iconic, "You're one ugly." And the Predator starts fighting with him. And then Dylan uses a rock as a trap. Falls on him. Falls on the Predator. The Predator's wounded. And then sees that the Predator's laughing. And sees that the Predator's setting off his bomb. He gets away. Explosion. The helicopter comes and rescues them. And then the movie ends. Awesome film. This to me is a film that made a generation. This is one of my favorite films of all time. I remember watching this as a kid and just being in love with it. Just the cast, the music, just everything. The fact that it starts off like, because I was wondering, I really want to know how people were what people were thinking in 1987, that opening night when they were watching it, and because it starts off like an action movie. You think it's gonna be this like action Arnold feature, and then when you get past that big shootout scene at the camp, that's when the Predator starts picking people off, and it's like, okay, now this movie isn't just like an Arnold shoot 'em up movie. This is, there's some shit going down. And so, like I said, Alan Silvestri's music was genius. It like that, like I said, my favorite scene with his music is Dylan's death. Like, you just hear Dylan screaming, and that music's cueing in, and the Predator's running around him, or around him on the trees with the fucking camo on. You got that music playing. It just, it's so good. You're gonna see me like with Predator 1 and 2. I'm gonna be just gushing the whole time because to me they're awesome movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger killed, but I wouldn't say he killed it. Bill Duke as Mac was great. "I'm gonna bleed you real quiet," like that line when he said that to Dylan. It was just, and Dylan's face was like, fuck. He couldn't say shit to him. Like, Mac was an intense, and then you had, I thought Billy was a good character. Poncho was great. Hawkins, even though you didn't get a lot of him, he kind of gets killed off, but I thought he was good. Definitely, Blaine, Jesse Ventura, I ain't got time to bleed. That iconic, that whole scene. You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time. It's like such a good scene. Such a good movie. And film, not just movie. Good fucking film. One of my favorite films of all time. So, out of 10, like 11 out of 10. You know, like, this is to me, one of my favorite, like, if, like I said, number one is Jurassic Park, then I would say Jaws. This would be, like, number 3. 3 or 4. It's up there. Like, it's an incredible movie. So, my advice, watch it, and even if you don't I would personally advise watch Predator 2, but if you don't like it, you can just stick with the first one as its own little thing if you really wanted to. So, that was my review of Predator 1. Awesome film. That's all I can really say. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing Prometheus, so I understand, my opinion may not be the most popular, because I understand a lot of people don't like that movie, but let me say the Xenomorph had to come from fucking somewhere, and I thought Prometheus did a good job at showing you how it was done. It was just kind of Covenant that kind of fucked it up. I'm gonna rewatch it, because Covenant I was okay with. I didn't love it. I definitely think it's a step down for Prometheus. I think Prometheus is awesome. I think it's just, even if you have to, you can just kind of watch Prometheus. If you don't want to connect it to Alien, you can just kind of watch it as its own, like, just sci-fi story. I think it works like that. Like, it can just work as its own sci-fi story. So that'll be my review tomorrow. And then probably, I'm probably going to do Predator 2 first. More than likely will be Monday will probably be Army of the Dead, because I'm going to be watching that tonight when it comes out on midnight. And then, that'll be today. If it's that good, I might review it tomorrow before I review Prometheus. So, but other than that, that's my schedule. And Predator's an awesome fucking movie. So, go watch it. Cheers. But alright, guys. Fuck Warner Brothers. Fuck Hank Azaria. Fuck Freddie Bitch Jr. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.